Okay, I'm just getting ready. Okay, I'm just getting ready. Okay, I'm just getting ready. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, I'm just getting ready. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, I am trying to get this done. Something is not going right, so stick with me. I will be right here. I'm just hoping to get this up and running. If you're watching, can you tell me if you can hear me? Or if you're getting a really bad back noise? Or if it keeps repeating itself? I'm hoping it's working. Can you tell me if it's working or not? I don't know how to check that it is, and if you can't hear me, that's kind of a problem. So I'll just go with this. I don't know what's going wrong. It's always something, right? All right. Hi, everyone. I'm having some technical difficulties, and I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, if you can see me. Give me a wave if you can hear me and see me. That would be wonderful. And I want to tell you what I'm going to do today. So what I'm going to do is a few years ago, I made this. It was done in a class, and it is really done by doodles and coloring and painting, and it's a full mixed media project that would be beautiful as a background for a journal page, an art journal page, or just to sit down and doodle for a while. So this is what I want to do. This is my original. And what I am going to work on is a piece of music paper. And I have put gesso on the music paper. And this is the gesso that I am using. And I'll say it again. If you can hear, if you cannot hear me, please let me know, because it would really suck if I'm spending a couple hours doing this and there is no sound, or it is absolutely awful, because if it's not working, then I'll just go to a different live. Okay, so this is the gesso that I used, and I watered it down just a little bit, put a thin layer over top here so that the paper is going to work a little better for the mediums that I want to use on here. And what I am going to use is, I have a very basic pencil. I have paintbrushes beside me. I have paints in multiple colors. I will put them here. I love using paper artsy paints, but use what you have. Just make sure. Hi Virginia, can you hear me? Make sure that your paints are matte. If they're not matte, you may have to put some gesso over top of the paint to get it to work, or to get colored pencils to go over top of it. Clear gesso. Thank you so much. And I'm guessing you can hear me. All right, so I have the paints, I have colored pencils, and I have, okay, perfect. And I have my Prismacolor Premier pencils. I have way more than this. If I need more, then I will grab them. But this is pretty basic colors that will work perfectly to blend and shade and do different things. Then I have my Tombow markers, but I also have my Crayola markers, or my grandkids' Crayola markers beside me, because I want to show that you don't need expensive things to do this. You can use what you've got. And I think that's it. We need some black gel pens, black gel pen, white gel pen. I have a gold one, but I also have gold paint. And I have paintbrushes in all different shapes and sizes. I have a cup of tea and I have water right beside me. So I'm just going to get started, and I'll explain what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability to go horizontal, and that would be so much easier to do, but I will do the best that I can in a vertical setup. I'll go a little bit, zoom out just a little bit. You will be able to see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at a corner of, or at a spot on the page, and I'm very, very carefully drawing some lines. So really, I'm just scribbling all over the paper. And from here, I am going to put some circles here and there. Just making some shapes that we can use. And maybe I want to do like a triangle here and there. So like anybody who says like I can't draw or I can't do that, or if you can draw squares Please, how do I do? Um, so like you can put some squares in there. Thanks, Virginia. Yes, please. So from here, I now have some lines. And I'm not going to use all the lines that I have here on the page because that is a lot. But I am going to pick some pieces, and I am going to need something that I can put my paints on. I had everything else ready to go, and of course that's the one thing I forgot. So I'm just going to slide this right underneath here. You won't be able to see. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, I'll show you right here on the side for a moment. I'm going to put a few paints onto my mat right here. Just putting some paints here. I'm also watching the chat, you guys, and I will kick people out if I am not liking what you're saying, okay? I will try to answer questions. Okay, it should be a little bit more quiet now. So I'm using my paper artsy paints, and what I've put on here now is weathered copper, red lipstick, cerulean, some dirty lime, and I don't need a lot. I have some Firebird. And I should be cleaning these when I finish using them. Okay, because that would speed things up when I want to use them again. I have banana, some cerise, and some electric violet. So I have kind of a rainbow of colors. Ooh, there was a little bit of liquid in there. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside again so I can keep the paper in the center. There we go. And I'm grabbing my favorite paintbrush. I like working with an angled paintbrush. And I have water here as well. In a cup, I just have water. And I'm going to dilute the paint quite a bit because I want it to be pretty thin. I don't want thick globs of paint. And I'm just going to pick out shapes that I've put here and just putting some color on there. And I want the music paper here and there to shine through. And I'll do a circle right here. Can we still see that? Yes. So I really like it that you're coming to spend Friday evening with me while I am doing some painting and doodling and coloring to make backgrounds for in junk journals or art journals or whatever you prefer to work on. You could even like cut this apart and use it in use it as backgrounds for cards. It's just going to be super colorful. I'll take some of the Firebird, so that's a very orangey color, and doing the same thing. I'm just picking out the shapes and putting some color on them. Whoops. My phone cord is right here in my way, actually, so I'll just move it out of the way. I think I'm done with the orange. I am picking up some dirty lime, and I want this triangle right here. Right there. The square right here, and I think I'll go right here around that purple, making sure that I'm not touching the purple, because if I am touching the purple with the slimed or with the dirty lime, it is going to turn into mud. It's going to instantly turn brown and it'll be really gross. Then I'm picking up some of the red lipstick. And I want this circle right here beside the orange. And I want this space. the space right here as well, nice small space. So some spaces are going to be a little bit bigger, some are going to be a little bit smaller. Picking up some cerulean, and I'm going into the bigger space right here, and the cerulean actually turned out a little bit too thick, so I'm going to try and spread the paint as far as I can get it. So I hope you all had a good week. I had a busy week. Good, but busy. We have lots of things happening, or there was lots of things happening at work that were interesting. We'll just go with that. So I'm just going over top of the lime green here and putting a shape there. And then this is now dry. The purple is dry right here. So I'm going to go right in there as well with the blue. And it's okay, it is allowed to overlap here and there. And you can see, like, I am not overly concerned if I am staying in the lines or not. I am just trying to get color onto my paper in shapes. I'm taking some banana. And I'm going to go right here around the two circles, coloring in that shape. And the banana looks very close to the dirty lime. So I have to make sure that I remember that that is banana and not lime. I'll put it right here as well. So some of the paints are opaque and some are translucent, which is also making the difference in coverage on the paper. But it doesn't matter if it is translucent or opaque for the technique that I am going to do. So I'm grabbing some cerise, and this is a pink. I'll put it right here, going over top of a couple of different shapes. I don't know why I keep washing it out. I need it. Turn this around again. And then I'll take this whole shape and turn it into cerise. This is a beautiful bright pink. I'm going to go over the purple here. Right there. And I'm kind of working in sets of 3 at the moment. I will fill it in more after. I have cerise here. no, that's red. I can put cerise right here in the square. Okay, and then I have weathered copper, which is a really pretty green. And I'm going to go right here. And I'm not erasing the other lines. If I am going over top of them and I want to use them, the shapes are still there. So for example, that circle is still there. And that way I can still break it out into more pieces if I want, but at least the color is down on the paper. I'm just going to go around the whole thing like that. There. I think I want some more of the Firebird right here. I'm just filling in the big spots now. And then I can always go over it with some white to give some circles definition, like right here. Right here, I could put some white paint and then have a white spot right there. And it doesn't look like a whole lot when you're just putting the paint on. It just looks like, you know, kindergarten coloring. I need a color for right there. Am I missing anything? I think maybe I have no idea. What do I want to put right here? What color can I put there? Maybe I'll grab the white and put white in there. Where did I put? Oh, there it is. It had fallen over, that's why. Just a little bit of white. And I'm using chalk. So I'm just going to go right in here and putting some white paint in there. Obviously picking up some pink as well. I think I want to make this spot more blue so that it's almost like a circle kind of blue. And then I can take the weathered copper and put it right here. And I'm going to go around. Oof. I don't want to make a mess. So I'm getting there. I have a teeny tiny little spot right there. And I think I am going to put a little bit more of the cerulean right in that spot. Let's just pick it up, make it a little bit of a bigger spot. It's not like I need to preserve paper or anything like that. The whole page needs to be filled at the end of it, so I don't know if we'll get there today, but we're definitely going to give it a shot. Right here I have kind of a strange shape, and it's beside this really wonky triangle. So I'm just going to cover it with more of the cerulean. I don't mind if the cerulean is overpowering a little bit. It's okay. But it won't. It's pretty bright and colorful. I have one spot left right here. And I think I want the weathered copper there again because there isn't very much green on the page. So I can definitely use the green on here. And I'm going to take it right over top of all the other paints and put it like that. Because the other paints were dry, it is going to dry properly. Okay, I have to dry this for a moment. Paper Artsy paint dries very quickly, which is nice, especially when you're applying it pretty thin. There's a lot of water in some spots though, so let me just add a little bit of paint. There. And then I'll just turn it around and we'll start where the paint is dry already. Okay, I'm just letting my paintbrush soak for a bit. And I'm removing the underlay that I am using here. That my paints are on. Okay. Okay, so most of them are dry. So I'm going to grab some colored pencils. And I had been thinking of using my Tombows as well, or my markers, and I may still use them here and there. But right now I am just going with my colored pencils. And I have a big pile here. I have my Prismacolor Premiers here, and I'm going to pick some colors that I can use. I have way more. These are just the ones that I always use. I'm just going to take some, put them aside so that I can use them. I need a white for sure. I will also need my black. This is a gray, that's not black. This is my black. I need a pink set. So I'll use the hot pink, the process red, This is the black cherry. This is a very nice combination. Then I have orange with poppy red, and do I want poppy red or do I want crimson? I'm going to use magenta instead. Magenta, orange, and yellowed orange. And then I have a canary yellow. And a lemon yellow. And I can use that with white as the lightest. And then I need some greens, so I made a grass green. That's apple. This is grass green. Peacock green. And yellow chartreuse. And I need something purple. I will take a lavender. I'm not sure what color this is. I can't see it. Okay. I need a dark purple. Do I have a dark purple? Black cherry, lavender, and this is lilac. Lilac is not good enough. It's funny, I'm grabbing these two and they look very different, and they're actually exactly the same color. So the time comes to grab the big set to find my purple. I want a black grape and a dahlia purple. Yeah, black grape, dahlia purple, and lavender. That's what I want. Okay, and then the rest can go away. So there we go. This is what I have left over for colors. And I'm just going to turn this around, probably like this, so that I'm not sticking my hand in the wet paints all the time. And the purple is dry, so I'm going to start with the purple right here in the corner, and I'm going to start just coloring it. And I'm just going to, in this set, I'm just going to give it a quick color, and then I'll doodle in it, and we're just going to do one spot at a time to finish each spot. And I'm going around in circular motions to put some color over top of the paint. I'm just giving it some shading. So that was the black grape. I'm going over that with the purple dahlia, or dahlia purple, and I'm going back over the whole thing from the beginning, and then just reach a little bit more to the center. And I am sorry if this is shaking the table. I'm trying not to. So I'm just in a very thin layer, putting some color down over top. And then I grabbed the lavender and I'm doing the exact same thing. So I'm just going over, coloring over the whole thing so that it is blending to the inside. Sorry, I don't mean to shake the whole thing up. I need something under it, so because there's lines on my underneath. So I'm just opening this, putting this under here. And then I'm just going to, I don't know if I need to go over it once more time, but I will, just to make sure that the color is on there. I'm just putting one more thin layer on here, just so that it's nice and smooth. Taking the purple dahlia again and going over it. And then what I want to do is I'm just going back to my page because that's my example. So now I'm taking my my black gel pen, and I'm just outlining the edge. Right over top of the pencil and all the other lines. You can also use black paint to do this, of course. And then I'm making a second circle in here, like that. And I am going to grab some black paint. I have a little black paint, and I'm just going to take it straight out of the jar. Smaller paintbrush. And then I'm just going to color in right here over top of the purple. I may have to give it 2 coats. going back from right here inside, and I'm going around like that, so you kind of get a petal shape. And then I'm making just silly little lines right here. That, and coloring in every other one black. And what I like is that the gel pen is a little glossier than what the paint is. So now we're getting like the flat paint with the glossy gel pen around it, which just gives it a really cool effect. So the paint is dry right here, and I'm going to go inside, and I'm putting another circle in there. And I'm taking my white paint and a really small brush. And then I'm just going to color right over top here to give this a little bit of definition, because you don't want just a big black blob. You want black in something because it gives it interest, but you don't want just a big black blob. And the cool thing here is, and I don't know if that's showing up on camera, is that the white is kind of picking up the purple a little bit. I don't know why it just picked up purple, but it did, even though there is black paint over top of it. So that can dry for a moment. And I just need the lid. And I'm grabbing the white paint again. What do I have that I can use? I need something that is going to be able to make white dots. Probably the back of a paintbrush. So all I'm doing is I'm dipping my paintbrush into my white paint, and I'm going to put a little dot in each purple square right there. I'm just taking away where I don't want the paint. Okay, that works. Then I'm also taking just a little bit of paint, and I'm just going to put little dots right here around little dots, not big dots. I wanted little dots. My paintbrush says, no, no, I heard you say you wanted big dots. just kind of like that, coming from the center. Like that. So you can see, super simple. There's not really, where did I put my cloth? I have a cloth that I can wipe things off on, but now of course I can't find it. There it is. The paint is all dry, so I'm grabbing my white gel pen, and I use a number 10 jelly roll. Those are wonderful. I love them, and they color very nicely over top of paint and colored pencil and all of that. And I'm just going to put a line as long as this one works. I have multiple. Worst case, white paint. That's not, I'm telling you, it always works, except for when you need it. All good. That's why I have my little paintbrush. And I can just go around. Trying to get some paint on the paintbrush. Oh my goodness. Want this to just be accentuated just a little bit, and once it's dry I'm going to put black lines on both sides of the white paint. Okay, one spot is almost done. It just needs to dry a little bit. The white dots right there, they need to dry, and the white here needs to dry, and then I can finish it. So while I'm doing that, I am going to this square right here, and that is a lime, and I am going to use grass green, yellow chartreuse, and white. But before I do that, I want to doodle in it first, and then I'm going to cuddle the doodles. I'm going to color the doodles. So I'm sorry. That was super silly. Okay, so I'm just going to put the outline here with the black gel pen. And now, of course, I'm going to say all kinds of strange things by accident. And then I think I want to make another square, or, well, it's not really a square, but it will resemble squares. And I'm just going to go smaller and smaller. And I want the center to be white, then chartreuse, then grass green, and then I can go with the peacock green. So I'm going to make the center white with my colored pencil. Oh, as long as my colored pencil stays out of my gel pen. Then I have the chartreuse, so I'm going to color right here. Oh my goodness. Where's my eraser? I have a little mini eraser. So it will erase the paint as long as it's not, or the gel pen, as long as it's not completely dry. Just make the point a little sharper, maybe that will help. Give it a nice sharp point. And then I'm just going to go back in there. There. And the grass green. And then I'll put the peacock green all the way around the edges. Oops. And again, going in circular motions, because that way I get the most coverage on the paint. If you go like this, it doesn't cover nearly as well as when you go in circular motions. It just kind of nicely blends into each other. There we go. Very simple, super simple, just some squares into each other. Okay, so what I want to do in the orange one is I want to draw a flower in there. So I'm taking, this is dry, so I'm going off center, so I'm probably going to go right here and putting a shape in there like that, and then I'm going to go from the edge of that center, I'm going to go to the top and kind of create flower petals. Just like that, flower petals. Big ones, little ones, until it is filled. There we go. And then I am taking my magenta. taking my magenta, and I think I'm going to go from the inside out. So I'm just going to go around the oval that I drew and just color the inside of the petals. Circular motions again. And then I'm taking the orange and do the same thing. Circular motions all the way around. And then the magenta kind of blends very nicely into the orange. Then I am taking the yellowed orange and going back over the magenta and the orange all the way to the edge of the petal so that it all blends together and it blends the colors out to the outside. There we go. Very simple, but you get a beautiful flower shape. I don't know what I'm going to do on the inside yet. Yeah, I do. I am going to put my white has some black on it now. I'm going to put a white dot right here. And then I'm taking yellow and I'm just going to go around it so that it is like a true flower with a yellow heart. Right there. And now I'm grabbing my black gel pen and I'm going to draw around the flower petal just to make it stand out. And it kind of hides whatever imperfections you've done. It kind of hides with the black gel pen. Go around the center of the flower and the little white dot that we had put in there, and I'm going to put some dots in there, and then I'm going to also make the flower look like a flower. I'm going around the circle. And then I'm going to go around again so that it covers, so that it's only covering the flower, just like that. And then I'm going to color the inside black with the black gel pen. And it makes the color stand out. The black just makes the color stand out. But if you look very closely, you can see that the music paper still shimmers through the paint and the colored pencil. And I want my white gel pen again. And I'm just going to do some very simple, just little accents on there. I just want to make sure that there's as much detail in here as possible. Put some gel pen there. And there we go. There's my flower. So I'll do that again so that you can see it again. But I think this time I want to go with, do I want to go with a square? Let's do a square. Let's take this blue square, the cerulean square. And I'm taking my pencil and I'm going to go from right here, draw an oval, and then I'm going to go, I think it's all dry now, I'm going to go from the oval all the way to the top and create flower petals. So they're going to be all different sizes. And shapes, which makes it actually look really interesting and fun. So I'm trying to fill up as much of that square as possible. Now I'm going to color it again, and I'm going to do the blues, but I want to color the inside first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little white spot right there. And then I'm going to go with my orange all the way around the edges of the circle, of the center. More over here probably. And then I'm taking the canary yellow, I'm going to go around again and just kind of going all over the orange into the white dot that I made. And then I'll go over with the orange again just to give it a good coverage. And again with the canary yellow, blending it, and it can go over the white. And then I'm taking the white again and I'm kind of blending it like that, so that the center now looks like that. Then I am taking, where's my blue? I want my bigger blue. I have all these little stumps because I'm so cheap that I'm like, no, I don't need to use, I don't need to grab a new pencil. The little stump is still doing very well, but it just makes it really awkward right now. So I have a violet blue right here, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing as what I did here, just with blues, and go a little bit further in. But what I want to do is I want to make it look like there is texture in the flower. So I don't want to just go in just one layer. I want this to have different yeah, how do you say that? I want the color to kind of be spread throughout the petals. so that it looks like, you know, when you have a flower, where did I put them? They're not, like the color isn't all together. There's lots of color coming from the center going all the way to the tip of the petals. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show, or kind of trying to mimic here, which, you know, doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be anything that is realistic. I am not going for realism. I am going for mostly fun. So that was violet blue. Then I have aquamarine, and I'm going from the bottom all the way up over the violet blue and kind of blending it together. So the reason for the paint underneath is that it just gives me, one, something to start with. It gives me a color to start working with, and two, it makes I've already got spots of color, so I don't have to think about what color am I going to use here. I've already done that think work. The colors are already on the paper, so I can just grab my colored pencils and my my gel pen and just doodle and do things and color and make some shapes. Okay, then I'm grabbing my light aqua and I'm going all the way over top and I'm coloring the rest of it in. So now I'm just really blending this so that the colors are all kind of smoothing together. And it's doing really well. I don't think it actually needs a second coat. See, it's blending together very nicely. And the cerulean is an opaque color, so it is covering the music paper up. So the cool thing is that in some spots you'll have the music paper shimmer through, and in some spots you won't see it at all. What kind of shapes would you put on here? If you were doing this, what kind of doodles would you put on here? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to knock you around. Trying to not interfere with the camera at all, but my fingers are moving all over the place here on the paper, so the camera gets a little bit in the way here and there. Oh, I like that. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm grabbing my black gel pen. And I'm going first around the oval that I made right here. And then I'm going to put the petals back on there so you can see. It's easier to see what I have done. Kind of missed the mark there for a moment. Okay, so here I want to put in between, I want to put some dots. So I'm right away doing that with the black gel pen. So I'm just putting them in between the petals, still staying on the square. Now here, between the two petals, there is some space. So I'm going to put little circles all the way in there, like that. And then I'm going to color. I'm going to draw out this shape, because I can't really call it a square. It didn't really turn into a square. There we go. And then I'm going to go around and color the outside in with the black gel pen. Just to make the color stand out much more, and you can see the shape much better. And then I'm taking my gold gel pen. Let's go with gold. And color in, maybe not. Maybe I need to grab my gold paint. And the back of a paintbrush. And I'll just put dots in there. Not sure why that doesn't work. I like the Paper Artsy gold paint much better than the gold gel pen anyway. Anytime if I can use my Paper Artsy gold paint, it is a really good day. Okay, I'll show you again. It's very pretty. It came out very pretty. Oops. Oh, my tea is just sitting here. I haven't even started drinking it yet. I've been going for an hour, so my tea is like pretty cold right now. So I want to put I want to put the texture for the flowers in there, but I don't want to use my gel pen to do it for this one. I am going to use my black Prismacolor Premier pencil. And I think I need to make it a little sharper. There we go. And just kind of pull some lines in there from the end, and I'm really just flicking the pencil. I'm just putting the pencil right on. I'll see if I can zoom you in for that. Let's see if I can show you better. So I'm putting the pencil right there and then flicking it back so that you get the lines, but they're not going to be totally straight and even and too clean. And it's just to give it the texture and to give it some, where are we? We're right there. There we go. It's very pretty. Grabbing my white gel pen. And I think I want to put some dots all the way around here. Just little dots. And then I'm just making a little line, a couple of dots, nothing overly exciting, but it just gives it definition. Trying to see where I want to put the line. There we go. There is the flower in a square. I want to do something with one of these big spaces. And do I want to do the green? Let's do this spot right here. What I want to do in there is I kind of, do I really want to do this spot? No, I want to continue on in this area. So I'm going to take this spot right here. And I'm grabbing my pencil right here. And what I want to do is I want to make it look like a mermaid's tail. So kind of the scallops. So I'm going to start right here in the corner. And I'm just drawing little half ovals. All the way like that. Do I want to do it like this, or do I want to do it different? I want to do it different. Sorry. I do want to do the scallops, but I'm going to erase this a little bit. So I'm going to take my pinks. So I have mulberry, I have processed red, and I have hot pink. And I'm gonna go from one end to the other end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the mulberry. And I could actually put the black cherry in there as well, so that we go from very, very dark. Where did I put my black cherry? That's not black cherry. black cherry, so that we go from very, very dark to light. And I'm just coloring this in. I don't know if I'm going to need to do more than one coat, but I don't think so. So then I'm going to go over it with the mulberry and blend it together. And go down just a little bit further, just like that. And then I'm taking the processed red, and I'm just starting somewhere halfway where the mulberry is, and just then moving it over. That way it blends the mulberry in with the processed red. And then I'll grab the hot pink, and again starting about halfway in, and you can see, like, I'm not really overly caring where I'm putting or how well I'm blending it right now, because I am going to draw over top of it. Okay, and then I'm grabbing my white to make it just a little lighter all the way towards the bottom. Blending it from about the center of where the hot pink started. There. Go over that just a little bit more. I want that to blend just a little nicer. There we go. And then instead of using the pencil, I'm just going straight in with my black gel pen, and I'm going to draw out the shape. Like that. Ooh. And if you're not touching the colored piece right there, then you just make your line a little thicker. It's not really the end of the world. I think right here I want a bit of a thicker line too, so I'm just going to go around. Just off the first line. There we go. Okay, so now I can make my scallops. So then I start in the center there, move it over. I just don't want them to be even. So I'm just doodling in here, not really having a full plan of what I'm going to put where, or I'm just playing, doodling. This is lovely when you're just watching TV and it's just mindless doodling, or you know, you can just take this somewhere and you don't really need to do this all at once. You can just do little pieces at a time, like the one that I made before. Where is it? I want to show you all the stuff that I've made. So this one actually took me, like, let me zoom out. This took me a very long time to make, because like each piece is done individually, and it just takes time. So then you just have your pencils and your stuff ready, and anytime you have a moment, you just do a couple of spots, which is probably what is going to happen with this one, because there's no way I'm going to be able to finish it all the way through this video or this live. As much as I want to show you, yeah, I would be here for days. And I know it is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday, and I could do that, but I don't want to, and I don't want to bore you guys that much either. I totally went off somewhere, so that means that I am now going a little bit in a different direction. I do like it. I like that it goes from darker to light. I like how that looks. There we go. I like that. Super simple. I don't even know if I'm going to do very much more to that piece. I'm going to the next piece. So what I want to do here is I want to kind of pick up this shape right here. There's a half circle there. So I'm just going to pick this up like that. And what I want to do is I'm going to, and you see I am using my gel pen right off the start. Checking, yeah, all my paints are dry. I think, yeah. And I'm just going to create ovals right here. Like that. One oval. So kind of like peas in a pod. Then I am coloring the outside black. Just some black in there. The black is what makes this stand out. It helps when you plug your phone in, you know, sorry, it helps if you actually plug it in the other side too, because otherwise it drains the battery really fast. So the black is what's going to make this stand out more, and what is making the design actually. And I don't know what I want to do for color there yet, so I'm going on to this piece around it. And I think I want to just color this, and then, what did I do here? And that's about all I want to do to it. So let's just do that. So for green, I am using grass green, peacock green, and yellow chartreuse. And I am starting with, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, maybe I do. I want to try something slightly different. I am going to start right here in the center with the peacock green, and I'm going to blend it to the outside so that it's the lightest on the edges. So then I'm going back over with the grass green and going over to the edge. I don't want to color over the red. But most of the time you keep the color going to the, you start with the darkest color on the outside and you blend in. I want to start from the inside and blend out. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly. And I'm starting back in the center, and I'm just blending this out with the yellow chartreuse, going to the edges, all the way over top, all the way to the other sides, and I'll have to probably do more than one coat. Oh, yucky. And I'm going back to the center with the peacock green. Taking the grass green and blending that out. Green is not always the easiest to get to blend. But it does, once it's blended, it's so pretty. And then go over this with the yellow chartreuse all the way to the ends. Just blending until it is where I want it to be. I'm trying not to shake the table too much. Okay, so now, just grabbing that. I'll show you. So I'm taking my black gel pen again, amazing, and I'm going around here, around here, like that, and then I want to put some circles going smaller all the time until I'm at a dot, and then I'll color them black. And I'll do the same thing right here. Take a bigger one, a little bit smaller, smaller. And I will put one right here as well. So big circle, smaller, 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 and like that. I'm going to take another one right here, so a bigger one. There was just still too much space left. There we go. So I've gone from this to that. And yes, I am peeking. Oh, I think I know what I want to do. I think I know what I want to do in here. So in here, I want to make a big circle in the center, right here, on all of them, where possible, probably. And then from there, I'm going to just make these shapes. So it'll look like, it's not really a flower shape. It's kind of just it's a petal shape, but it's not really a flower. More like bunny ears, maybe. And I'm just going to color the ends black. So then I'm taking my white gel pen and I'm going to color these circles in white. As long as I'm not going through the black, the wet black gel pen. And I did it again. It's okay. Okay. And then I'm taking a small paintbrush. Right here, I'm picking up some gold paint. I'm just using the lid for the gold paint. And I'm just going to color these shapes in gold. Now this happens to be fantastic gold paint. That I'm making a mess with because there was a big dot of water. Terrible with a small paintbrush. You know, when it matters, it is so hard to get it to do what you want. So there's the gold paint on there. You can see the shimmer. That can dry. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I am going to go in with just the grass green. I'm just going to sharpen it for a moment. Just the grass green, and I'm just going to color in right here all the edges, just to give it that bit of shimmer from the colored pencil. I don't have to do that, but it is going to look really cool, I think. Okay. Now, let's see, what else do I have here for shapes? I have this shape right here. And this, to me, kind of looks like an eye. So if I were to take my white, do I want to put white paint on there? I think so. I think I want to cover that with white paint. And I'll tell you why. I want to make an eye shape. So I'm just going to go like this. And I'm just grabbing some white paint and just covering the whole thing up with white paint. That's the bonus, you know. If there's a spot that you don't want, where you don't want the color, or you want to change the shape, you just cover it. Why not? It's your work. You're not bound to what you created before. You can just change it. Because, for example, this space right here, I am now thinking I want to have something different. Yeah, what I want to do, because I now have to wait for the paint to dry, right? So I am going to put a line right there, and I'm going to put a line right there, like that, and then right there, and then I'm I'm going to make lines from one end to the other end, kind of curved towards each other. Again, we're just doodling. And if you want your lines a little different, you just go over top and just keep going until you're happy with it. I like this. It's kind of neat. And then that needs to dry. I just have this thing. I just don't want to make so much noise with the with the heat gun. So I'm just using my little blower thingy. And meanwhile, my eye shape is dry. And I'm going to grab my regular pencil. And I'm going to draw inside here. I'm going to draw kind of like the iris. I kind of want to do an eye right here. And then the pupil right there. And then go around. Does it have to be realistic? No, absolutely not. I actually like it better if it is not realistic. Making a double line along there and along there. And what color eye should we make it? If you guys are watching, you want some input? What color eye should we make this? I can do blue, green. We've got a lot of green in there already. Blue, I can do a pink eye. Nobody wants pink eye though. I can do a brown. I can find a brown to put on there. What color should we do? Purple? What do I want to do? I think I want to do blue. So I'm grabbing my violet blue. Is this all dry? Can I put my fingers in there? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to go around in circular motions and put some blue around here. just a thin strip of dark blue. I can go a little darker on the bottom, like that. Go all the way around. Go a little bit bigger right there as well. And then I'm grabbing the aquamarine and going in circular motions all the way over that violet blue and blending it out towards the center. Just going over it to blend it as well as I can. So I'm not pushing very hard on my pencils. I want thin layers. It'll just cover much nicer and it'll blend much nicer than if I take one thick layer right from the beginning. And I'm taking my aquamarine and going over the whole thing again. Or this is actually light aqua. Going over it, over everything again. And just blending it to the inside circle. And I'll probably put a second coat on here too. So I'm taking my violet blue again, going back around the center and pushing down just a little bit harder to get a little bit more color on there. Ooh, I thought I had to sneeze. There might be a sneeze coming. I'm just blending it in. Going around and around. And taking the turquoise or the aquamarine again. Not turquoise, aquamarine. And again, pushing just a little bit harder on there to get the colors to blend. And the light aqua again. Just one more coat. And I want to bring the darker blue, pull it through so that it kind of looks like an eye, right? Like when you're looking at an eye, the colors are coming from the outside in the iris. So I'm pulling the color with the lightest aqua. I'm pulling it into the center, and you can see right here that the lines are kind of coming down. So that's what I'm trying to do. We're going to accentuate that, of course. So I have my violet blue, and I'm just going to sharpen it for a moment. And then I'm putting that on the outside line, and I'm doing the same thing that I did with here. I'm just going to put it, and I'm going to flick it. Just like so. And I'm kind of turning the pencil as I'm going. So I don't want this to be like nice, even lines. I just want this to look like the iris of an eye. Oops. And the lines are never, like those lines in the eye are never completely straight. So I don't want them to be completely straight and even in here either. Okay, I'll show you. Can you see that? I think so. It's pretty, it's faint, but it's there. So now I am going to take my black pencil, and I'm going to color the pupil. I can do gel pen as well, but I think the gel pen is going to be too black. Whereas this is going to give it just a little bit more of a drawn look. And now I'm going to take the gel pen, and I'm going to just go around just to draw it in right there. I'm also going to use my black pencil just to make a little bit of a line right here around the outside of the iris. And then really lightly on the bottom to make it look a little darker on the bottom and on the top. Just like that. Now I need to get this to be wider. I'm going to try with my white pencil first. If that doesn't work, I may have to go to white paint. But we've already gone over it with white paint, so The white pencil should do the trick. To get it just to be just that little bit wider. And I'm coloring in circular motions so it kind of goes over top of each other all the time to blend it together. It's working. It is working. Do the same on this side. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking the table. I'm trying really hard not to. I'm not even moving my hand very much. I'm just moving my fingers. And it is shaking everything. Don't know why that is. Okay. Then I'm taking my violet blue again, and I'm going right along this edge here and just putting a nice layer of, just because I just want to put one layer, I am putting a little bit of pressure on there. Just on the top. That's looking better than I was expecting it would. I think I want magenta on the bottom because it's looking so realistic and I don't really want it to look all that realistic. So I'm taking magenta and I'm going on the bottom. All right. I'm taking my black gel pen again, and I'm just going to outline now. So I'm going to start by outlining the outer edge. And the same thing goes for this edge as for everything else. Like if you make a boo-boo with the black gel pen, just make it a thicker line. Who cares? Right? If you're not completely at the collar and you want it to be completely at the collar, just go for it again. Going to the bottom edge. And this edge. Now, of course, in the white spot, you can doodle. You can put all kinds of doodles all over it. Why not? this edge. Then I'm grabbing my white gel pen. And I'm going from the center of the pupil out that way, kind of making a triangle shape as a highlight in there. I think it doesn't have to be all the way to the edge. Making a mess. Yep, I'm making a mess. You saw that, right? Total mess. I didn't want to go all the way to the edge. I didn't like that. I just want it just like that. And I'm going to take this again. I'm going to put just a little accent right here and a bigger accent right there. And we have a beautiful eye shape. And like I said, you can doodle all over the white. I want to do something here. I'm not sure if I want to keep just the paint color. I think I know what I want to do, but I don't know how. I think I want to grab some I'm just looking to see what I had done before. I know what I want to do here. I am going to keep the paint. And I'm going to draw little mini dots. So I'm going to start with bigger ones. And they're all different shapes. And I'm also going on the edges so that it doesn't look like I forgot that there's shapes. Okay. I'm going to go around like that. And like that. And right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go with some smaller ones. Do they have to be perfect? No, I'm terrible with drawing circles. And they're not all even, they're not all the same size. I'm just doodling in here, just drawing some circles, just 'cause. And again, going off the sides too. going with teeny tiny ones all the way around to fill it up. So I just want to fill all the spaces between all the circles. I don't want this to take me forever, so I'm going pretty quick. If I wanted to spend more time on it, I would take a little bit more time and actually do this very neatly. But I just want it to be filled in. And again, they're not all the same size. They're not all the same shape. And this is all hand drawn. And I'm sorry I can't do it all the same size. And it's a big spot, right? Like it's not like it's a little spot like right here. This is a pretty big spot to fill in. So I hope you guys had a good week and that you have a great weekend. Do you have any plans for the weekend? What are you doing? Something fun, something not so fun? This morning when I was driving to work, it was like zero visibility because of the wind. It's so windy here. But the temperatures are half decent, but then the wind makes it really cold and miserable. So yeah, not sure what to do about that. And my cruise control wouldn't even keep my speed because it was slippery in spots and lots of black ice and yeah, just nasty driving. And then I had to go to the bank at work, and I had so much that I needed to get done at the bank because we've had some people out, so lots of stuff was just staying and not being taken to the bank. So the lineup by the time I was done was pretty much all the way to the door, which is crazy. There we go. I like that. Kind of like that. So I now we have this spot done. We have this all done right here, all the way to here. So we've got quite a big spot done. I think I want to go to this circle right now. And I think I want to put a daisy in there. So I'm just drawing this out. And do I feel brave? And I want to do it with my gel pen right away? And I think so. No, because then it needs to dry. If I do it with my gel pen, then it needs to dry. And I can't, oh, look at my fingers. Can you tell I was playing with paint? So I want to do I want to do one daisy or multiple daisies? Let's do multiple. So I'm just drawing little daisy shapes in here. Just around. There. That works. Then I'm taking my crimson. This is actually crimson. Look how teeny tiny. I can barely hold on to it still. But as long as it goes through the sharpener, it's all good. When it can't go in the sharpener anymore, that's when you know that your pencil is at the end. So I'm just going to color all the way around the flower petals. I don't want to color the petals. I want them to stay whitish. But then have the red all the way around it. And it's not a lot. There's not a lot of space. It's just a little spot, and I managed to put 3 daisies in there. It doesn't leave for a lot of space. Do I want to do them with gel pen, or do I want to do them different? I'm going to do them with white pencil. See if I can get that to work. See if that works. Oh, it does. Yeah, I like it. I just want white daisies. So you don't have to paint first. You definitely don't. I did, and the only reason that I like to paint first is because it gives me color blocks. And that is really the main reason why I put that on there first. It's kind of the taking away the blank page, which is also the fantastic thing of just taking your pencil and going do, because then you have shapes and you have something that you're starting with. It is that fear of the blank page that is completely gone at that point, because it's no longer a blank page. Also, if you start with, in this case, music paper, then you're also not starting with a blank page. You're starting with music paper. And here and there, I can see it shimmering through, which is really neat. I want some yellow. Like that. Gel pen. Yeah, just outlining the daisies. So if you're watching, where are you from? Where are you located? I'd love to know. My location is, I'm in Manitoba, which is in Canada. And I live in rural Manitoba. So not everything is always easily available, because for me, the only craft store that I have available to me really is Michael's or Amazon. And Amazon, I have to wait. I'm not that patient. So a lot of the times I just make do with what I have or with what I can find at Michael's, which is pretty limited. Because even our Michael's doesn't carry a full stock. Not everything that they should have is available there. I really like this. I'm just going to put some white dots in the red because it just gives it that little bit of extra. There we go. So there's my little daisy circle. I have a shape right here, kind of a teardrop shape, and it has multiple colors in it, which is great. Let me show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to outline this first. So I'm just picking up the line from right here and going all the way across like that. Kind of making it like a paisley shape or a teardrop shape. And going all the way around it. Hitting the daisy right there. Just like so. But now you have two colors in there. What are you going to do? Well, I am going to blend this from blue to really light purple. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to start with my violet blue. And I'm just going over the blue right here. Just small circular motions. And just in the blue part. taking the, do I want to do the aqua? No, I don't want to do the aqua. I want to stick with the blue. So I'm just going and coloring right over that whole blue spot. Okay. Coloring it all in. Okay. Now I'm grabbing my black grape. I want a little bit more of a point on there. And I'm kind of picking it up on the edges. So I don't want to go all the way over top of it. I just want to pick it up at the edges. Because I don't want the blue to completely be gone. And just putting a bit of the purple on there. Kind of going along with the shape. So kind of want that shape to stay, if you can see that. And I'm probably wasting a lot of my time because I know what I'm going to do with it. And there'll be a lot of black in there. But I want that color variation. And the only way to get that is by doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm going over it with the Dahlia purple. And I'm not going to cover this. I'm not going over this twice, probably. I'll just probably do this in one coat. Unless it's not blending very nicely, and then I'll have to do a second coat. But I'm going again further down to that there. Just in circular motions, and I'm going pretty quick. And it is blending very nicely, actually. Between the gesso underneath and then the paint, there's already that layer there. So the pencil just kind of just picks it up very nicely. It's blending beautifully. And then I want to grab the lavender. And I'm doing the same thing, just picking it up, and kind of blending it out, and going just a little bit further again. And I think you can guess what color I'm going to use at the edge. Please let me know what color I'm going to use at the edge. Let me know. Do you know what I'm going to do? So I want the music paper to shine through on here, and you can, I don't know if you can see it there, but it's still shimmering through. It's a huge spot. It really is. So I'm grabbing white because the white will just blend it very nicely to the bottom. Just like that. It's going to pick up that purple a little bit. You can see it right here on my pencil. It is picking up the purple and it just blends it down, but it's not going to give it a lot more color. It's just, I could use a colorless blender too, but how much fun is that? I like it. That's really pretty. That looks pretty. Okay. So from here, I want to go like this. Kind of in, whoops, kind of like that. And the gel pen just works so nicely over the colored pencils. I'm going back up, all the way back up, and picking up a little bit of that blue, and then going back down. And then again, going back, trying to stay with that line, and then going around like that. It's kind of like a fan shape. And again, right here. There's a lot of wax on this pencil. I have to go a little slower with my gel pen. And I think I can get one more in there. And then I'm just going to color that black, the rest of it. So I'm just, again, giving it that black. The black grounds it. I am going to put a big circle right here and then color the black all the way around. And again, circle right in there and coloring. Keeping to color. Circle. And I'm just making the circles bigger and bigger. I want to really go from the fan shape here all the way to the edge of the teardrop. So right here, I'll have a really big circle. And just coloring it in with the gel pen. You could use paint instead of gel pen. You can use a Posca pen or something like that. A Sharpie doesn't really work because it is alcohol based, and the alcohol will pick up the wax from the pencils, so that you kind of just destroy your Sharpies just like that. I've tried it. Okay, I'm going to go and do one more half one right here. Pretty, very pretty. And then, of course, I can do whatever I want in there. But I don't think I want to do a whole lot. I just want to grab some gold. And I wish I could get my gold gel pen to work. But it just doesn't. I think it's actually empty. And I don't know if I have another one. Oh, I have another one right here. Let's see if this one works better. Yes, okay. So I think I want to put little dots in here. Just doodling inside the doodles. And then I can make some lines from the bottom all the way up. Maybe easier to go from the top down. Just with the gold, and it just gives it that little bit of extra. And this is a Uniball Signo Broad Gold. And I got these at Michael's, but they also have them at Amazon. And I just want the gold on the purple because I just think that looks so pretty. Letting it pick up the light a little bit there. Ooh. I made a smudge right there. that's okay. And I think I have enough to put one line right there. It's looking very pretty, very rich. And I like how it has the spot of blue in there. Taking my white gel pen and just going and putting just a little bit of accents in there. Not a lot, but just enough. And what it is doing right here is it's picking up the purple, which I was hoping it wasn't going to do, and it is doing it. It does that every now and again. It will pick up pink and it will pick up purple. There we go. I like it. I am very happy with that. I like that colors. I like that colors. Wow, that's good English. Right here, I am just going to color this red because I can. Sometimes you don't want to do a whole lot. You just want to kind of do just a color block. So right here, I'm going around with my black pencil, and then I'm going around that with I'm going with my red again, and I'm picking up that black a little bit so that it makes the red a little darker. My little crimson pencil is super teeny tiny. I could maybe turn this into a ladybug. Why not, right? Black gel pen. Pick it up from there. Go all the way around. And then I'm grabbing the black again and kind of just filling in right here. It will pick up the gel pen a little bit, which is fine. It's just black on black. And I can turn that into a ladybug. Let's turn it into a ladybug. So all I'm doing is making grabbing my white gel pen and putting some ladybug dots in there. There we go, super simple. Yeah, and if you want, you can even go around that with your black gel pen, like that. And I'm not going exactly at the edge of the white. I'm just kind of going a little bit further away. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, I've got a lot done here. So I've got this space done right here, like this, around this piece, and then all the way up to there. So I think I want to do something right here, because then at least I have the bottom part completely done. Where am I at with time? I think I am hitting the 3 hours, and it is, yeah, it's, so I'm going to do something with this while I am saying good night. I hope you enjoyed this. What do I want to do? Oh, I think I know what I want to do. Let me show you. Where's my pencil? I want to go around here and then kind of make a funky little shape in here. So I'm just drawing a shape like that. And I'll grab my black gel pen. And I'm just drawing something funky in here. Like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blue on the, coming from this way, but starting at the funky part. So this piece is going to be either white or black. And then I'm going to bring the blue. So the blue is going to be like this. So I'm starting on the outside. Or on the inside, I mean. Going like that, making these shapes, kind of like water water drips. Like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely had a lot of fun. Got a lot done. I got way more done than I was expecting I would get done. It's a very peaceful project. You can just sit there. I can sit for hours and just color and draw shapes and doodle on it and all of that. So I grabbed the aquamarine. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, because that does help my channel a lot. My channel is growing, and it is actually growing faster than what I was expecting, which is wonderful. I am very happy with that. But yeah, and I would also like to know, like, what, if there is something that you would like me to do. Would you like me, is there a project that you would like to see, or something where you have seen me do something, and like, because there's lots of techniques that I'm using throughout the videos where I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. I'm just doing it because I do it all the time, and then I'm not really telling you how to do that. Let me know if there's something that you've seen that you would like to learn more, or have me explain it a little bit better, because I would love to do that. This upcoming March, so today is the 27th, so as of Sunday I will be doing Mass Make March, and I am really excited about that. I have a really cool idea, so you'll have to stay tuned and see what I'm going to do for that. I'm still in the middle of the 100-day project. This is day 55, I believe I'm on. So there is at least 45 more videos coming, and 30 of those are going to be Mass Make March videos. So if there's something that you are wanting me to touch on or show, just let me know. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I will be live again next Friday, and I hope to see you then. Tomorrow's video is going to be on using my recycling. So if that is something that interests you, you'll have to check it out tomorrow. And I am making tags out of my recycling bin. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. Have a great night. Bye.